Hello, and welcome to episode 5 of Dota Kingdom's Complete Beginner's Guide to Dota 2. In this episode we shall take a look at what is meant by the roles of a certain hero, and how this translates into team composition. There are many things to consider, but in the end there are only 5 of you and 5 of the enemy. Firstly, we shall take a look at the roles. These are general categories in which heroes are split up into. They give general insight into their playstyle and item builds. The first role is called Carry. A carry is a hero that has skills that scale really well with items. They focus on excelling in the later part of the game, dealing massive amounts of damage with their right-click attacks over their use of spells. Carries generally have poor base stats that would discourage you from going all-out damage early on. Going all-out damage is called being a glass cannon. As the name suggests, while you deal a lot of damage, you are left being very fragile. Examples of carries are Gyrocopter, with his ability Flat Cannon, which allows him to hit everybody in an area with his right-click attack. Naga Siren, who once has a base set of items, becomes map-dominating with her ability to create illusions en masse. And Alchemist, with the fastest base attack time in the game thanks to his ultimate, leading to one lean mean chopping machine. The name carry is given as it is considered that the hero will carry the rest of the team over the finishing line. A Disabler is a hero that can restrict the movement of the opposing team using crowd control. This is mostly through stuns, nets, and freezes. Examples of Disablers are Crystal Maiden, with her ability to freeze heroes in place, Tidehunter, whose signature Ravage provides a massive AoE stun, and Disruptor, who can restrict an opponent's movement to only a small area, and also prevent them from disengaging from a fight. A lane support hero, also known as a babysitter, is one that provides good early game sustain to your team. They don't require much in the way of gold, and their abilities are mostly defensive in nature, allowing their carry to earn gold in safety while they are around. Examples of lane supports are Io, with its ability to share its health and mana regeneration with a partner, Dazzle, who can save people from the brink of death with his Shallow Grave spell, and Keeper of the Light, who can provide large amounts of mana to his allies, allowing for early sustained aggression, if that is the route you wish to take. Initiators are heroes that start a fight or counter-initiate into a fight. They rely on a mixture of tankiness and range to complete their tasks. Their job is to provide that surprise factor. Take out that one hero quickly, leaving you with a 5 versus 4 scenario. Examples of initiators are Clockwork, with his hookshot allowing him to travel great distances. Combined with his cogs, he can split teams up and wreak havoc with their positioning. Centaur Warrunner, whose Stampede temporarily gives his entire team maximum movement speed, allowing for sudden bull rush moments. And Storm Spirit, who has an ability to be highly elusive, jumping in for a pick-off and then leaving just as quickly, only to come back a few seconds later. Junglers are heroes that are able to kill neutral camps right from the get-go. This is done usually through the use of summoned units, lifesteal, or natural tankiness. This can mean that you have less people sharing the lanes, and thus your team has greater XP and gold efficiency. A jungler will generally remain missing from the opposing team's vision in the early game, allowing you to rotate in the back lines and provide a global presence of unease, even though you aren't doing anything. Or are you? Junglers can also ambush, otherwise known as ganking, the other lanes while they move about in a bid to help out their teammates. Examples of junglers are Enchantress, with her ability to convert neutral creeps to be her slaves, Enigma, who can produce small sub-units to do the damage and tank for him, and Lycan, whose summoned wolves deal a lot of damage and can be used as scouts. Supports are heroes whose spells are more utility-based rather than doing damage. They also provide auras to their allies and set up kills with crowd control spells like hexes and silences. Supports are relying on their spells rather than items, but that doesn't mean money won't help. They will buy vision-granting wards for their team and mobility items to allow them to better position themselves and assist their allies. Examples of supports are Omni Knight, with his heals and ability to grant immunity to both magical and physical damages to his allies, Lion, with his sustainable lockdown potential with stuns and hexes, and Shadow Demon, whose ability to remove an enemy or ally from the game for a couple seconds can both save or set up for his team. Durable heroes, as the name suggests, are the tanks of the game. They have high amounts of HP, armor, or magical resistance. Their job is to stand in the front lines and ensure they soak up the damage that would otherwise be lethal to their allies. Examples of durable heroes are Axe, whose taunt grants him bonus armor and forces enemies to target him over his allies. Wraith King, whose ultimate reincarnation means you have to kill him twice in succession. And Huskar, who gains bonuses to resistance and attack speed as his health gets lower. A Nuker is a hero who relies on massive amounts of magical burst damage. They have high damage spells on short cooldowns. They thus require some items in order to be sustainable in the spamming. They reach their peak in the mid-game, around level 7 to 11, when their damage compared to most enemies' health is the greatest. Examples of Nukers include Zeus, with his mixture of spread and single target damage, combined with an ultimate that has global range. Lena, with her passive that grants her benefits to movement speed and attack speed based on how fast you are spamming your spells. And Skywrath Mage, with his ability to amplify magical damage, silence, and deal ridiculous amounts of damage within confined areas. A Pusher is a hero that can easily disperse waves of creeps and provides good building damage. This can be done through strong AoE spells or by mass summoned units. Pushers are valuable when it comes to completing the main objective of the game, and can also put their abilities to good use while defending their own ancient. Examples of pushers are Jakiro, who provides decent AoE and has an ability that can be cast on buildings. This provides great damage over time, allowing Jakiro to slowly whittle away at the building without taking much risk. Death Prophet, with her ultimate dealing massive amounts of physical damage, it can be used to take down buildings in a matter of seconds. And Pugner, a hero whose main nuking spell actually affects buildings too. This means every 5.5 seconds he can just run up and drop a 160 damage spell and run back out again. Escape heroes are those that provide good natural mobility through the use of blinking or invisibility. They can play about the edge of a fight or roam the map solo, knowing they have a good chance of getting a kill and getting out safely. Examples of escape heroes are Slark, with his Pounce ability combined with his ultimate, he gains bonus movement speed and regeneration when he is not visible to the enemy. His large night vision allows him to plan ambushes without the enemy knowing he is there. Anti-Mage has a natural blink ability with a low cooldown, allowing him to jump in and out of a fight as he wishes. And Puck, who has an ability to remove herself from the game for a few seconds, allowing you to dodge most spells. It also provides time for you to use your first skill, a travelling orb that you can teleport to. The enemy is faced with a choice of waiting for you to appear or chase the orb. Now I have mentioned a lot of classes of heroes, yet only 5 heroes per team. Many heroes can fall under multiple categories too. So how do you go about choosing which is best for you and your team? As I have said in previous episodes, there are 3 lanes and a jungle provided to each team. Each team needs to determine which heroes they want to put in each lane. Each team will generally consist of 2 support heroes and 3 core heroes. The support hero's job is to secure the core hero's farm. This can be done by babysitting, by warding and scouting, and by roaming the map looking to kill an opponent. A core hero will look to earn as much gold and XP as they can in the beginning of the game and take over the game when their hero reaches their optimal potential. Each team's 5 players are given a position based on their requirements for gold and experience. Position 1 is what requires the most gold and XP. It is usually taken up by a carry hero. Position 2 is what's called the solo mid. This hero takes the middle lane to themselves and faces off against the other mid 1v1 in the early game. They have high requirements for experience, which is why they take a lane solo. Solo mids are usually initiators, nukers, or pushers. Position 3 is called the off lane or the semi-carry, depending on the hero and the team setup. It is a core hero that covers any holes left in your team strategy. These are usually taken up by initiators, durable heroes, and escape heroes. Position 4 is the greedy support. This is the support that spends more time looking for kills or farming than their partner. They are usually buy, early or mid-game orientated items. Some can also be full-time junglers from level 1, providing that extra source of income for your team rather than just the 3 lanes. These are usually nukers, pushers, junglers, initiators, supports, and disables that have a better early game presence than a solo mid. Position 5 is the full support. These heroes are normally more defensive in nature. They provide heal and sustain for the team. They normally buy the special consumables for the team, such as vision granting wards, a courier, and dust which reveals invisible characters. They are also responsible for protecting the carry in the early minutes of the game. Position 5 heroes include supports, lane supports, and disablers. The 2 supports can also both look to ambush or gank an enemy lane if they feel their carry has reached a sustainable position. This can allow their other cores, such as the solo mid, to secure an advantage over their equivalent on the enemy team. So how do you put these heroes into the lanes? Common formations are as follows. 2-1-2 is where each side lane has a support and a core. Generally the position 1 in the lane close to their jungle, also known as the safe lane, and the position 3 in the opposing side lane. This is the most common for public games. It means less communication is required across more players, and communication can be hard to come by with random players. The formation 1-1-1-2 is where the position 3 is left on their own and the position 4 takes up the jungle full time in the early stage. This allows secure money on your support, but places the offlaner at risk and requires that individual to play a lot safer. 1-1-3 is called a tri-lane. You can choose to place your tri-lane in your safe lane, which is called defensive, or you can put it on the other side lane, which is called aggressive. A tri-lane will consist of a carry and 2 supports. The aim is to secure farm for your carry, both by protecting them and also by repeatedly killing the opposing core hero in your lane by taking advantage of your numbers. A tri-lane, however, will leave you with supports that are worse off for experience and gold unless you get the kills. Hopefully now you can begin to put together how a team should be made up. That is not to say everything I've said here is definitive. There is nothing stopping you from experimenting. By playing the game, you'll get a feel for what each hero does, what their skills and playstyles are, and etc. Once you gain this knowledge, you'll find yourself able to choose the right heroes for the right situations, depending on what your team has chosen and the enemy has chosen. You will learn from experience that a team of 5 carries is not the most reliable setup, nor a team of 5 supports. You may also find that a playstyle of a particular position is what you are more comfortable with, or you may like mixing things up and playing a bit of everything. Hopefully this video provided you with a good basis to start thinking about what sorts of heroes to choose when you are in a game. There is nothing like getting experience though. Playing with and against a hero firsthand will let you see for yourself why I give them these positions and priorities. I hope you enjoyed this video. I am Nat, and thank you for watching.